And welcome, not back, I guess, but to Patrician 4. So I had a request, I don't know, maybe a month ago, to do a tutorial video of a kind for Patrician 4, and I'll gladly do that. I'm a big fan of the Patrician series, and you also might notice that my voice sounds quite different. And it does, because I'm recording this on my netbook. I'm playing the game on my desktop, but I'm recording the audio on my netbook that has a mic, and I checked the mic out and there's no noise on it. It's just unbelievable. It's also hypersensitive, so I hope you don't hear me smacking my lips or anything. But so Patrician 4 is a economic business trading game. If you played Port Royale, it is a lot like Port Royale. It is also a lot like in terms of the economics of it, there's certainly like Capitalism 2 is a good one, and Industry Giant 2, of course. So rather than starting a new game, I'm going to show you a game I've been playing, because then I'll be able to show you more of the game than simply starting a new game where you start with one boat and there's not a lot you can do at the beginning. So I'm going to load up my free play here, and you can't play the scenario. It just means the scenario is just sort of a tutorial, and they give you different goals. You don't really need to do the campaign. It's not, I wouldn't really consider it a normal campaign, as if like you have to take over somebody, or like other games, or there's like a unique experience to the campaign. There isn't really that. The campaign is really a tutorial, so you can do it if you want. But okay, so this is free play, and this is a town. So let me show you the world first before you get into town. So this game partakes in kind of the North Sea and the Baltic Sea area. So basically above Europe here and below Norway and Sweden and England. There's a side of England there. So your position in this game is you are a emerging trader or a merchantman, and you go around and to each town and you trade various items. And I'll show you what some of those items are. So here's where is it? Oh, whoops, let's pick a town I can view. So here is the items in the game. So there's a bunch of building materials, and there's food, and there's metal, and more food, and all kinds of stuff here. But we'll get to that. So here's the world, all these different towns. And to start the game, you're going to pick a hometown to start in, which is somewhat limited. There's only certain towns you can pick to begin the game in. Because they have to be a certain size, I think. So once you get into the game, so let's say you pick this one, Rostock. This is a town. So there's a whole bunch of houses, and there's some main buildings in here, and these are the stuff you'll be working with quite often. So I guess I'll just go through them. So there's a shipyard, so you can build new ships. So there's me right there. You can order ships. You can buy ships if they come up for sale. You can repair your stuff. You can upgrade ships and put cannons on them, etc. These little cranes, as well as the market hall, they all do the same thing. They bring up this trade. Here's some list of goods. This shows you kind of the statistics, or not. Well, they're not statistics, I guess, but just the goings on of the town in terms of what their demand is. So the consumption of this town would be 56 barrels of wood. 92 barrels of bricks, and this is what, 10-day demand, and there's the 10-day production. This is the town. This is not you. So when you start building your own buildings in the town, which I'll get to, that's not included on this. This is just the NPCs and their activities in the town. And then there's some city info stuff, such as kind of the economy of the town, and this is determined by how many goods that they have missing, how long they've been missing, if they're getting population increases, if there's a housing crisis, all kinds of stuff. And each town produces a certain types of goods, and only those goods, and never any more than those goods. So this town produces these resources, and that's it. You can't make a town produce something else later on or anything like that. These are kind of set in stone. Okay, so what else is there? So here's the guild. So this is the 14th century. So there is the guild system, although there's still guild systems today. So you need to bribe or get permission to exist in a town to begin with. This is the first one here, and you need a certain reputation. That's a little happy face here, the reputation. Then you need to buy permission to build the regular production buildings in the town. And then you need, eventually, like you don't have to get these right away. These are kind of a progression. Then you have to buy permission to make the top good in the town. So in this town, it's beer. And then, one-time thing, you need to buy permission to go on expeditions, and that's just to leave the side of the map here, over here, which will take you to the Mediterranean, as well as the North American coast, once it's discovered. And you can trade towns outside of this game and get spices and get cloth and get wine and things like that in huge quantities, like hundreds of units, as opposed to this game where you're going to be trading like 10, 15, 20, depending on the thing, of course, per town. Okay, so the church, you don't have to do a hell of a lot with the church. You can leave it alone if you want to. You don't have to pray. I don't think it has any benefit. You can donate money to the church. I think you get a reputation bonus if you do that. This one is sort of important, though. I use this sometimes. If you're looking for new workers, you can do one of these and feed the poor, and once they're fed, they become workers. So if you need workers, if the town is out of workers, I think they're called burgers in this game. I think it's a German word or something, but then you can feed them and then you get more workers. So that's one way of, if you're really going nuts in a town, you're building tons of industry and you just need more and more workers, make sure, of course, that the houses are okay. They're not maxed out. So I just clicked on a house here. There's 3 levels of houses. There's a worker's house and there's a merchant house, I think. Oh, there's a burger house. Burger house. Oh no, burgers are everybody. Never mind. Burgers are all people. So there's worker house. There's well-to-do. I think there's rich. Patrician house. There it is, rich. So there's 3 types of people, and each person demands different goods. So that makes this more complex. The demands, this kind of stuff here. So if there's a lot of rich people in the town, rich people demand spices and wine and meat to eat and skins. Pitches for building ships, and I think there's one industry building that needs them, but I'm not sure now. And then the well-to-do, I think, eat cheese and fish, and they drink mead, and then, of course, poor, they eat grain and beer. Where's beer? Where's beer at? Here, beer. And honey, I'm not sure. That might be well-to-do or something, but... Okay, what else? So there's the architects. Whoops. So the architect's right here, and he is where you build everything in the town. So if you are not a mayor yet in a town, then this is your screen here. So when you first get a counting house, where's the counting house? Oh, wait, never mind. It's not here yet. So if you weren't in the town yet, then you'd be able to build a counting house, and that's like, think of it as your headquarters of the town. There's my counting house right here. Maybe I can show you it. I think I can. Oh, I thought I could. Oh, there we go. So there's my counting house, that green building right there. You build a counting house, and then you can build. You need the permissions. I'll remember those permissions, those stamps. You can build houses and warehouses. So houses people will move into, and then you get the rent money. And then here's the first line of production buildings, and then you need a third permission for the beer. But of course that changes based on the town. Okay, tavern. So you can, if you need sailors for a boat, you only need sailors if it's a boat that you're going to go out and attack people with. You don't need sailors for just merchant boats. Guests, so different little missions will come up here. And if there's any pirate hideouts discovered, they'll be right there. And that little red thing that's blinking, that just means that there's people in here that have missions. Same with this blinking brick, that just means that they're looking for resources, so there's the resources they're looking for. And the same thing with the shipyard, so sometimes it'll have a brick, actually I think it's a piece of wood, blink up and down, that means they're looking for resources. But right now they don't need any, so they're building a ship. One thing that is a little bit annoying about Patrician 4 as opposed to 3 and Port Royal is when you build a building or you build a ship, resources that are needed to build that ship or that building come out of the town's stocks as opposed to your own warehouse. And I remember looking on the forums about the official Pat4 forums, and people were kind of annoyed about that, and I'm annoyed about that too. I think it's kind of dumb. So basically, if you want to build a crap load of buildings at once, you need to sell all your wood and bricks to the town, and then quickly build your stuff before the NPCs take it on you. So it's kind of stupid, but I don't know why they don't fix that. Okay, here is the town hall. So there is, you can run for an election. You can look at your percentage. Oh, I can run for an election. Oh, I don't have the rank yet. There's your rank up there. I'll get to that. City council. So once you have a certain rank, you can vote on what project you want the city to build, and you can front money for that project. So if you're looking for something specific, like you want to build bigger ships, so you want to upgrade their shipyard, or if you want a university built, that gives you tech, and I'll show you that later. Cathedral, I don't know what the point of it is. I can't remember now. I'm sure it's in the manual, but I don't remember. But that would be the least of my concern. So you can put a ship in the harbor and get money for it. So that's the patrol thing. Oh, this just shows you what's for dinner. I don't know. It's just kind of it's just for fun. And notices, so these are missions that you can get. So, for example, here's a mission. They want to loan me money, and I would pay them back a hefty interest rate by this date. So that's the point of that. Okay, let me show you some houses first that I have built that are giving me some rent. So here we go. So I have this one house. I have 6 houses. I think this is all collected. This should be all collected, but not each. So the houses are costing me $120 total, or each, I'm not sure. And I'm getting this much money per day just from rent. So that's just a nice way to, if you got money hanging around, you can just make houses, and it keeps your money safe, pretty much, right? Real estate. Okay, so here's my grain farms. I built a crap load of grain farms here. So these grain farms, when you click on one of them, it tells you this screen is for all of them combined. So out of all the grain farms I have, it needs 200 workers. There's 8 grain farms, 200 workers total. It cost me $600 probably a day total. I get 48 barrels of grain total per day, and this is my current stock, which is a lot. I need to get that out, but I'm not playing right now. If you're making too much grain at some point and you want to reduce production, just turn down the utilization. So take it to 50%. What that would do, that would slowly over time dump 100 workers. And then you'd be making half. So instead of 48, you'd make 24. Okay, now, so I also have some smiths over here. So this particular building needs 2 resources to build its product. So I have 3 of them, 75 workers total, and this is how much it cost me a day. It needs 6 bars of metal per day and 3 barrels of wood per day, and it'll make 6 barrels of tools per day. And these are my current stocks. And I have some breweries. So breweries take grain and they turn into beer. There you go. Okay, what else? So maybe over here. So there's my money. This is the rank. This is my current rank. I think that's maybe level 3 or 4. It's not that high up. And this blue bar tells you your progress to the next rank. So to the next rank, I need 2 more ships. And I'm actually building, I think I'm building ships here. So I got a crate right here. And okay, what else? So when you're mayor, a lot more interesting things occur. You have more options when you're mayor. Like for example, you can extend the city wall, so you have more space. And the reason for that is once in a while your town may get invaded if the prince of the region is unhappy with your town. Because remember, this is in the 14th century. There are local land owners. There are landlords, so to speak, but they were nobility. And they owned pieces. They owned provinces in countries, and they expected rent from the towns. So if they get angry enough then what happens is they come with an army and they invade the town. And what they'll do is they'll hit one of these gates. So you see how there's 3 gates? There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. Every town has 3 gates. The army will march up one of those gates. They will attack the town. If they win, then, they attack the town. And if they pick a road that you have stuff on, they will burn all your buildings down. What's different about in Pat 4, though, is the city rebuilds them for you. Compare that with Pat 3. In Pat 3, you lose the buildings. They're gone. So they blow up your stuff. They attack the gate. If they break through the gate, then they pillage the town. They take all the money out of the town, I think, and then they leave, and that's it. And then the prince is happy again because they looted your town. Yeah. So, alrighty. Let me show you some boats I have. So I don't have any boats in my main town right now. So right here you can see convoys at anchor. I don't have any, and I have 2 sailing. So I can click on these buttons and it'll bring me to one. So here's one of my boats. So this is actually the boat I started with. It's a cog. It's slow, but it holds 500 barrels, which is pretty awesome. So it's sitting right there, and I don't have this. I have this speed pause, so I'll put the speed up so you can see it moving a little bit. So there it is there. It's moving slowly. And I'll click on this, and I'll show you the other ship. So there's my other ship. So I named it Warmonger because it is my ship that I have cannons on. And it is filled with crayers. So crayers are faster ships. They also can go down rivers, which is important in this game too. So there are 3 towns in this game that you cannot access unless you have boats that can travel down rivers. Cogs cannot travel down rivers. Crayers can. And there's a boat underneath Crayer that can as well, called a Seneca. So my Crayer can come down here into Cologne. My Crayer can also come down to this town here, Thorn. And my Crayer can also come down to Novgorod here. My cog cannot. All the other towns in this map you can visit with any boat. Okay, so here's my Crayer. So it lists a few things here. So it's going to Ripon. It's going to be there in 0.1 days. It has 3 ships in the convoy. There's the average health of the convoy. Its speed is 7 knots. There's its capacity. So it's carrying 439 barrels of 660 total. There's the number of sailors I have on the boat, and that's because I've got cannons on the boat. To get cannons on your boat, you have to upgrade your boat. But in this game, in Patrician 4, you do not need to buy cannons and put them on your boat. In Pat 3, there was actual catapults and ballistas and cannons that you had to buy and then put on the boat. You don't need to do that in Pat 4. The cannons are assumed to be there. What you do is you upgrade your boat, and then the cannons just are bought and put on the boat, and they're there for good. You can, as far as I know, you cannot degrade a boat. Once you've upgraded a boat, it stays that way forever. So there are 2 levels to upgrading, and the upgrading is pretty much, so level 1, you lose a bit of cargo, you gain crew capacity, and you gain cannons. Level 2 is just the same thing. You get more cannons, you get more crew, and you get less cargo again. You only take on crew if your boat is cannons. The crew complement to sail the boat is assumed. You don't have to buy them or anything like that. Okay, so let's go into a town here. What I've got my boat. So there's my Crayer. So it's 3 boats, but because it's in a convoy, the game just sticks them into one boat like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, well, I guess I'll first show you, maybe I'll show you these little buttons here. So this boat has 2 little stars, so it's upgraded to level 2. So I upgraded this boat. This level 1 boat, I actually stole from a pirate, and I'll show you combat later. I'll actually have to find somebody, because fighting in this game is, fighting in the Patrician series, fighting pirates in the Patrician series, is far less than the Port Royale series if you played Port Royale. Port Royale, you can go and pick fights pretty easily. There's tons and tons of pirates in the Caribbean. In The Patrician series pirates are very few, and to go out and look for them is a waste of time. Like you'll find them once in a while, and then you can go and kill them if you need to. For example, the reason I stress that is an easy boat building technique in Port Royal is not to build boats in a shipyard. When I play Port Royal, I rarely build boats because pirates are so frequent. You can just take their boats and then fix them up, and then you're good. In Port Royal, your main source of boats is shipyards. You're not going to build. It would take you a long time to gather fleets together by grabbing pirate boats. So you have to use the shipyards. Okay, so that's that one. So here's my cargo. So those are little pieces there. So those are stuff I'm wanting to trade and get rid of. But of course, you also want to sometimes collect material to then dump at your home base. So for example, as you saw, my home base consumes raw material. My hometown consumes raw metal and wood to make tools. So also that town, the Rostock does not make raw metal or wood. So I have to buy it and bring it, or make it myself and bring it. Regardless, though, you want to keep that stuff on your boat, and then when you get to your hometown, then you put it in your warehouse, and then your industries can make use of it. So what's on your boat is not always going to be stuff you're looking to dump and sell. Sometimes you do want to collect things, as well as sometimes you'll want to go out and look for bricks and wood so you can build some buildings if you need a crap load of it. So, okay, so I'm going to click on the harbor crane here and just take a look at these prices. So I can sell a little bit of wine, and how you do that, so this is different. This is new to Pat 4. They have sliders. So I'm going to click and hold on this and slide it. And this is new to Pat 4. In Pat 3, they did not have this. So you also notice on the far left there the green and red little diamonds. So the green means that the price is, they have too much of it, and the price is at its max. And then the less green little diamonds there are, the more the price is up. And then once it's fully red, it means that the price is considered a good selling price, as well as it means the town is looking for that good. So I'm going to sell just before it gets to the red. So I'm going to sell right here, sell 9 of them, and I'm going to get $6,600. So there you go, that's done. I just let go of the mouse. I was holding on to it. Okay, so meat is a good price. So notice there's a little gear here. That gear means that this town produces meat. So if that's the case, likely they're going to have a supply. Now this doesn't always happen for wood and bricks, because sometimes the town, if they're building a lot of it, then they keep using it, and they don't have enough for traders to come and buy their excess. So here's some meat. So I'm going to buy some meat, and that's all I'm going to buy right there. So you watch the price went up as I did that. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to sell any clothes. So beer, I can sell beer, and probably can sell it all. Yep, so I'll dump all of it, just like that. I'll buy some mead. And, ooh, salt's a good price. So I'm going to take a look at my max capacity. Oh, they're only going to give me 45 or so before the price starts going up, so I'll just take 45. Here's some raw metal, but notice it's all red. The town does not produce it. So if I buy raw metal for them, it's not at a good price. Number one, $90 for raw metal is not a good price. Number two is that if you buy a product that a town is looking for more of, you can lose rep with the town, and I'll just show you that. So let's say I really, really needed raw metal, and that happens sometimes. I really need raw metal, so screw the town. I'm going to take the raw metal and pay the high price. So I'm going to do that. Reputation and rep and decrease. So this went down. I don't know what it used to be, but it went down a little bit, maybe a couple percent or something. It's not devastating, but you don't want to make a habit of that, because you do need the reputation to build a counting house later if you want to do that. And this reputation number, this does degrade over time. So it is a little bit of a race, but it's not a big deal if you keep trading with it. And you can actually bring a boat of stuff the town is looking for and trade enough in that second to then get this high enough to do a counting house. So it's not a big deal. So I'll buy some bricks, and I don't. They need wood, but I don't have any wood to give them. And if I did, I probably wouldn't give them to it anyways because I'm looking for wood. So I need more for building stuff. Okay, so I'll go to a new town. So I click on my my convoy here. So as you can see, the little icon. So this tells you that you have a boat docked in here. I'm gonna right click on another town, and there you go. So it shows the route, and it tells you, so it's going to Aalborg, and it's going to take 1.6 days. So also I should mention, you notice there's little icons beside the town. So this shows you what they're most in need of, and I believe, but I'm not 100% sure on this, the icon displayed is the highest good that they need in the list, and I'll show you what I mean by that because that probably doesn't make any sense. So you notice that this is in a list. So if they need wood, and then if they have wood and they need bricks, then bricks will show up. If they have everything down to clothes, and then they have no cheese and they have no, let's say, pitch, it will show cheese. So I think it goes in this direction. Whatever they're looking for, the next one in line that they don't have, they will show up. I think that's how it works, but I'm not sure. So given that information, which may or may not be correct, but it's something like that. You can have a look at a town, and you can decide what they're looking for or what they might need. So a town that's showing wood, that doesn't really tell you very much because it could be anything else on the chart. But if a town only needs pitch, then they might have a lot of stuff. They might have wood and bricks and everything all the way down to pitch. But again, I think I'll have to check on that because I'm not sure if that's true or not. Okay, let's do the other town, the other boat. So I got this boat sitting in here in Visby, on Gotland Island. And the town, check the tavern over here. Oh, lending 40 grand. So he wants 40 grand. Do you think you could invest 40 grand in this opportunity? I'll pay you back 64 grand. So if I have money, I usually hit these because it's pretty good interest that you're getting back. It's a pretty good ROI on your money, return on investment. And sometimes, though, they will not pay you back. And if they don't, you can choose to either take what they give you, and that's usually less than you gave them, or that's always less than you gave them. Sometimes it's 50% less, which is terrible. Or, which I think is nutty, or you can push them and you can either get more money out of them or you get stuff out of them. And it's usually a boat that has one health left and some crap on it. But if you do that, and this is the crazy thing, if you do that, you lose reputation with the town. So you're the bad guy. You loan someone money and you have an agreement that you're going to get paid back. And then the guy screws your money or does something with it, or maybe he loses it without a fault of his own. But then if you're looking for your money back, you're the bad guy. I just think that's crazy. Anyways, okay, so we got this guy here. So what does he have on him? So I have some skins, but I don't really need to sell any because the price isn't very good. Look at the cheese here, though. So let's grab some of this cheese. Let's actually fill up our cargo with cheese. There we go. Because it's a good price at 120. I'm not going to sell any fish. I'll dump the mead. I'm not going to buy any honey. So normally I would sell the raw metal. It's a good price, but I need the raw metal. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to dump the grain because I've got 800 sitting back at home. And so now I've got more cargo space, so I'm going to buy some more cheese. There we go. That's done. And off to the next town. So I'll just send them down to I don't know, Malbo, I guess. There we go. Alrighty, so what else is there I can show you? I do want to show you combat. The problem is I'm going to have to go and find it, and it might take a while. It's probably going to be in a separate video or something, because, like I said, you can't go looking for trouble in this game. The pirates just aren't around. Especially this early, the pirates come in progressively in this game, and it's based on your rank. So the higher your rank, the more pirates will be around. A game I played a while ago, which I deleted or I lost somehow. I don't know where it went. I was well, I was councilman at least. I think I was mayor of my hometown, and I think there was about 4 or 5 pirates lurking around. And what they do is they sit out in front of towns, and they don't block everybody. They don't blockade the town. But if you're carrying some expensive stuff and you're vulnerable, they hit you, and they'll take your boat, or sometimes they'll just they'll loot your stuff off your boat and then leave your boat empty. So it's something to keep in mind. Okay, what else? I think that's about it until I find Pirates of Battle, and then I'll record that. So until next time, I think.